Comcast Cablevision Channel 43 presents high school football. It's the Silver Knights of Sterling taking on the Eagles of West Deptford. Brought to you by the Bank of Gloucester County, hometown banking. Everybody knows your name. Celebrating 10 years and growing to serve you better. And by Underwood Memorial Hospital, partners with Jefferson Health System, working with you and your doctor for a healthier community. I'm Mike Shute along with Mike Linder here for high school football. Once again, it's Sterling at West Deptford, Mike, and what the people here at West Deptford are hoping is a historic evening for the Eagles.
Absolutely, Mike. In fact, they expect a big crowd tonight, and the reason is, easily explained. This is an opportunity tonight for West Deptford to annex their first Colonial Conference championship ever. That's hard to believe, isn't it? On top of that, of course, they've already clinched a playoff game, but they have an opportunity, if they win tonight, to probably get a home game to start the playoffs. Looking forward for that. So 7-0 club coming in tonight, looking to go 8-0. They really don't want a loss here tonight. Not only lose that home game, but then they have to go into Paulsboro on Thanksgiving, and if Paulsboro wins tomorrow, they would be fighting for the Colonial Conference Championship against a team, Paulsboro, that they've never beaten.
Clyde Folsom and the Eagles looking to lock up their first ever Colonial Conference title. And Mike, you talk about the West Deptford Eagles, you talk about one player, Brett Holmes.
Oh, absolutely. Brett Holmes is playing at the fullback, tailback position, depending on where they move the offensive formation in the backfield. But Holmes has had 10 touchdowns already on this season. He's a speedster. He's a go-to guy, the kind of player they look forward to offensively here with the Eagles.
In talking with Sterling's coach, Todd Green, before the game, he said, we have similar teams, we run similar offenses, we have similar defenses. For Sterling, they're going to need their running back Sean Gray to bust loose tonight.
Well, Sean Gray, of course, is the key in the option formation. If the key can ever be the running back, I think, of course, they've got to look to Mike Baricki in the quarterback. A guy that has a lot of football knowledge, and that's understandable. His father, Bob Baricki, and the longtime head coach at Collingswood. And to make that option go, it starts with Baricki, and then Gray is the man to try and get around the corner and pick up the big yardage.
We'll see if history can be made here tonight at West Deptford High School. It's the West Deptford Eagles against the Sterling Silver Knights. Right back after this. Hi everybody, back here at West Deptford High School, set for Colonial Conference football action as the Sterling Silver Knights visit the West Deptford Eagles. Mike, of course, looking for a historic night perhaps on the field at West Deptford, but also at halftime too. We found out we've got an interesting ceremony coming our way.
At halftime, they've selected tonight for the induction of the Hall of Fame new inductees. It'll be done here at halftime. That always draws a big crowd, and that crowd, of course, as we mentioned in the opening, hoping to see the Eagles come through with a victory, which will annex their first Colonial Conference victory ever. Remember, they started back around 1965 with a varsity schedule, but they were not in the Colonial Conference at that point, competing in the Olympic. And a number of years ago, moved into the Colonial. And Paulsboro, of course, and Woodbury, spending so many years atop the Colonial, made it very tough for West Deptford. But Clyde Folsom, Mike Shute, is looking for a victory here tonight to continue a perfect season, counting that forfeit victory that they received over Woodbury earlier. That would make them 8-0 after this evening going into the playoffs. And he's going to try and start with his defense. They won the toss, deferred. They will get the choice at halftime, probably take the ball then.
Back deep for Sterling, number 23, Sean Gray, number 2, Neek Washington are the two guys back deep for Sterling. There you see the man ready to kick off. It's Jason Williams, a freshman who will do the honors. We are underway here at West Deptford High School in Colonial Conference football action under Friday Night Lights. The kickoff comes down inside the 25, a low line drive where it's covered by number 85, Anthony Cook. That's where the Sterling Silver Knights will take the field. Their offense, of course, led by senior quarterback Mike Barikian. And Mike, Mr. Barikian, of course, no stranger to the game of football.
Now, they've been talking about football for years. You can bet he started as a ball boy for his father, a longtime head coach in the area, now at Collingswood High School, Bob Barikian, and we talked about that in the opening. But the big thing about it is he has that knowledge of the game, and when you run an option kind of offense, you better understand what's going on the defensive side.
The pitch goes to Sean Gray. Gray hesitates, now tries to make a move, and not much running room available. Looks like he may have even lost a yard on the carry, so it'll bring up second and about 12, we'll call it here. So it looks like he lost 2.
Good penetration that time from the defensive end on the left side, Ron Man Cuso, and he really disrupted that play from the get-go, made it very difficult to get any kind of rhythm going, and as a result, the defense able to wind up with that 1 to 2 yard loss.
We'll see a lot of running tonight. Both teams run that wing T offense, so we will certainly see a lot of ground being gained and or lost by both offenses tonight. Looks like it's this time it's Washington, I think, on the carry. Nick Washington, number 2, comes out of the pile. No, it's Sean Gray on the again on his second carry. A big pickup that time, getting out across the 30-yard line, actually to the 30. Give him about 7 on that carry, and we'll call it, actually give him about 8, and we'll call it 3rd and 4.
Well, interestingly, going with the power I setup in the first 2 plays offensively, and maybe disrupting what West Effort expected, and his coach, Clyde Folsom, had looked forward to seeing, thinking they'd see more split T and option offense out of them than what they're getting here with this power I formation.
3rd and about 4. So you see the full house backfield once again. It looks like it's Gray again who finds some room on the left side of the line, and it will be a first down as Gray gets out to the 34-yard line. Needed to get to the 33, so first down for Sterling, and they're on the move, Mike, early.
Well, Jim Hogan appeared coming from the linebacking slot, would have an opportunity to make that play, but the hole at the point of attack opened about 3 yards wide, and Gray might have gotten more yardage had he anticipated seeing that opening. I think he was expecting to get hit right about at the line of scrimmage and maybe didn't have full jets on yet.
1st and 10, Silver Knights with the ball at their own 34. Another handoff. This time it's Nick Washington who leaps his way out to about the 38, so give him a gain of about 3. We'll have 2nd and 7. Make it 2nd and 6 as they mark it now at the 34.
We're taking a look defensively. Of course, they start with a 5-man front, and normally they have the 2 interior linebackers.
My mistake, ball marked at the 39. It is still 2nd and 7, however, now we've got a whistle down on the field.
And Sterling's going to call a timeout. And I think what's happening there is the first couple of plays, first 3 or 4 plays, West Effort was coming out in kind of a rotation kind of defense. So it was a 5-3 as opposed to a 5-2, although it was a 5-2 setup with the 2 interior linebackers. And what was happening is that Sterling was going against the grain. There was no linebacker. Remember, we talked about how wide the hole was. All you needed was a seal block on the end, turn him to the outside. No linebacker there or corner to fill. This time they come out and they took a look, and both interior linebackers and both corners were there, irrespective of where the offense moved. So they may have taken a look, did Barickian, and say, hey, this isn't what we expected, let's get the timeoime
And, they're on the move right now, Mike. If they can get early, if they can get the ball moving early and keep it moving, they certainly can move positive yards down the field. Clyde Folsom on the sideline. See what's going on down there. He kind of just looks on. 9:39 left to go, first quarter. Scoreless ball game as we are just underway here in the Colonial Conference. 2nd and 7. Barikian back to pass. Now keeps it, tucks it and runs, gets across the 40, uses a little stiff arm and is brought down at about the 44. He'll be just short of the first down. It'll bring up 3rd and very short.
Well, it depends on the spot. I think you're absolutely right on the first call that he was short. As long as they've got a straight line there, you're absolutely right. And our referee tonight made the judgment that you have called it correctly. Clifton Corsi just says, let's move it in, and they'll be about a half a yard shy. I think I'd stay right with Barickian here and go forward and left or right of the center either way and just pick up the first down. They're not.
3rd and about a foot, and the running back takes it, initially hit, and then stopped close to the first down marker. We're going to have to see where they mark it. It was, looked like it was Jamal Watkins, number 5 on the carry there at that time.
He has this by 3 inches. That's my call. Wait and see as they bring the chains in.
They have stopped the clock to measure this one with 8:51 left to go.
That's why I talked about the quarterback keeping the football. Whenever you make that turn and get into the backfield, all you need is one defender to seal. There it is. Got it by 3 inches.
And
the eyes have not gone yet, huh?
Happy bunch of Sterling Knights.
Yeah. But, you need one defender to penetrate. It screws up the whole thing in the backfield, and that's exactly what happened there. And, of course, the runner did slide to the right, trying to make something out of it, and just got the first down to keep the drive alive.
So 1st and 10 at their own 45 now. as Mike Barikian takes a look around. This time they hand it off, and nothing, absolutely nothing. That time to the first back through. That was Washington, and he was stuffed immediately. Barely got maybe a couple of inches on that one.
It's as if they scripted this first offensive series where they're trying to find the soft spot, if there is any, in the West Deptford line. They've gone right tackle, they've gone left tackle, now they've gone right guard, and they've gone left guard. So they've tried every opening along the line, had most success coming off left tackle.
2nd and 10, they're going to run right. Pick up about 3 that time as Jamal Watkins again on the carry. Jason Morrell, number 50 from West Deptford, in on the hit, the junior defensive lineman.
Now this is a big call now for Barikian on this play. Remember, they were in 2nd and shorter than this, and Barikian dropped the throw. You would anticipate 3rd and 7 that we're going to see him maybe launch the ball for the first time. He dropped last time, had no receiver open, and ran the football.
In motion is Watkins. Here comes Barikian rolling to his left. Throws, and it's picked off. Intercepted by number 5, Dave Murnane. Murnane running to his left, looking for some room, now finally brought down at about the West Deptford 43, so the Eagles take over with the football, and Murnane might as well keep it in his hand, Mike. He's the quarterback offensively, too.
Yeah, up to him now. Boy, I tell you, that was not a difficult pass. That's the one that if you did not get it as a defensive back, you want to maybe take yourself out for a few plays so nobody looks and finds out who it was that didn't get it. Mistake made by Barikian that time. He felt the pressure coming and launched the football, even though, now you'll see it, as the pressure was coming, he was just launched it through the ball to get away from being thrown for a loss. You cannot do that when you're playing a zone defense back there the way West Deptford was, and Murnane was able to come up with the interception.
So West Deptford on the offense now, and it's Brett Holmes with the first carry. He's tripped up immediately, gets a couple of yards. We'll call it the 2nd and about 7.
We talked about Holmes in the opening with his 10 touchdowns, but his running mate, Mancuso, Ron Mancuso, wearing number 20 tonight, has not had a bad season himself. He, too, has scored way up there. He has 7 touchdowns to his credit already.
2nd and 7, football spotted at West Deptford's 45. 6:43 and running here in the first quarter. Murnane will keep it this time. He's got some room along the left side now. Pitches out. And a good pitch to Mancuso. No, that's not Mancuso. Number 28, Sean Knight. Sean Knight gets inside the 30 to the 25 for a big first down and a big pickup for West Deptford.
Well, not a bad first option of the evening, is it? One, it was run perfectly by Murnane, who came down the line, found no pressure at all coming, so he makes the turn immediately, goes down the sideline, but knows that he's got his runner trailing him all the way. So as soon as he feels pressure about 15 yards downfield, as we'll take a look, nobody there at all. Turn upfield quarterback, he does it. Now, you know you guys trailing you, there it is. As soon as you felt pressure, get the ball out there and then turn upfield and get the additional yardage.
Perfect execution that time, and West Deptford, this time it goes to the first back through. That's Holmes, the fullback, who gets across the 20, inside to about the 18. A gain of, picked up about 7 that time. We'll call it 2nd and 3.
Okay, 8-yard pickup, and yet the tackle's made by the nose guard, Troy Martin, wearing number 53. That tells you how well the West Deptford offensive line is firing out if they were able to drive the nose guard back 8 yards where he finally makes the tackle.
5:38 left to go on the clock here in the first quarter. Again, no score. The homestanding West Deptford Eagles with the football. Murnane takes the snap. The give goes to Kevin Overton. Overton running left, and he is upended after getting across the 15. But it is a first down for West Deptford. Pickup of about 6 that time for Overton.
Overton, one of those veterans that they had this year at West Deptford. That's the nice thing about this club. They have the opportunity to, so many veteran players came back this season, and you know, they already know the system. It makes it so much easier in coaching what you can do. You can just step up those first 2, 3, 4 weeks in terms of instruction when you have so many guys that have been here before. And Overton, they expected a lot more out of than they've gotten this year. It isn't that Overton's performance wasn't there, it's that they got so much more out of Holmes and Mancuso in the backfield. 1st
and 10, West Deptford, ball up there at the Sterling 13. The ball carrier that time, Brett Holmes, and Holmes hit for a loss. 75, Desi Mullen on the hit.
Mullen, one of those big guys you see anymore in high school. You ready? 5'10", but this is the big number, 308 pounds. Hard to believe, huh? You know, I don't even believe the programs anymore when we get them at the high school level. How can a high school youngster be 310 pounds?
This is Knight. Knight running right. Pushed down inside the 10 at about the 8, right on the near sideline. Third and about 5, we'll call it, for West Deptford here. They can get a first down without getting a touchdown. Get the ball to about the 3, Mike.
With the exception of the one loss that Brett Holmes has against him in his running column, this has been a picture-perfect drive, has it not?
So far, so good for the West Deptford Eagles. Murnane keeps it, runs left, looking to toss. Now we'll keep it and kind of dive his way forward towards the 6 or 7. We'll see where they mark it. It will bring up 4th and really just about no gain, so 4th and about 4, we'll call it.
Well, a lot of room now to the near side. Well, this is yardage territory. I don't think you want to throw the football. The best play they had so far has been the option to the right side. Look at all the room on the near side coming in our direction. I'm West Deptford. I'm going to come out and run that option back to the right side. I had so much success with it before, I can do it again. They're not, however, in the formation for that.
Eagles will go for it. It's Holmes. Holmes gets to go. No. Murnane keeps it, throws incomplete as he was firing towards the corner of the end zone for Kevin Overton. Nice fake. It had a few people fooled, including yours truly up here in the booth, but just a little high there for Murnane, and Sterling's offense takes over deep in their own territory.
I talked about running the option, A, because of the success they had with it, B, because the defense that Sterling is sitting in was not really prepared for it. That time they were sitting back with 5 defensive backs looking for pass, anticipating it. As a result, difficult to have a success in terms of passing down.
Good look at Clyde Folsom there on the sidelines, looking for maybe the right mixture, the right chemistry when the offense comes back on the field next time. 1st and 10 though for Sterling now as they have the ball back inside their own 5. And a good pickup that time by Sean Gray. Gray gets out across the 15 and close to a first down. And it will be 2nd and about a yard for the Silver Knights of Sterling High School. Sterling comes in 4-3, of course. West Deptford 7-0 tonight. West Deptford needing a win to clinch a historic first ever conference championship here in the Colonial Conference. And West Deptford already has locked up their first ever state tournament berth. So a great year here at West Deptford. Handoff this time is to Watkins, Jamal Watkins, and it will be a first down as he gets out near the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Sterling. Like they've been pretty successful running the football tonight so far.
Yeah, the 2 difficulties they had were when both times Barikian dropped back to throw. The one time found nobody open. He did get some yardage by tucking the ball under his arm and going upfield, but the second time, remember, he got pressure, threw the ball away into a crowd, had it intercepted. You might think the way they've been running the football, just keep it on the ground.
1st and 10 for Sterling. They're going to say the ball's at the 20. Handoff is up the middle. Not a lot of room that time on the dive play to Neek Washington. Maybe got, about 2 on the carry. It'll bring up 2nd and about 8.
Nice little quick trap that time. Walt Haas pulling from the guard position, coming down the line, throw a trap just to the left of the center and trying to find a seam for the fullback. That's a play that sets up the wide stuff. You got to run those plays inside a few times to get the linebackers to stay at home so that when you get down the line and get an option going, you got a chance to pick up additional yardage.
Here's Gray again, and Gray tripped up, took a knee back at around the 25-yard line. We'll see where they spot the football. But it'll bring up 3rd down. They're going to spot it at the 26, so it'll be 3rd and about 4 here for Sterling, and a key play for their offense right now.
Hey, you anticipate on the first 2 drives in this situation we saw a pass, so you'd be thinking pass, but I think I'm going to run off tackle either way again. That's where they've been successful, and they'll try it.
Gray once more trying to sweep around the outside. Now gets some room, gets across the 30 and picks up a first down. Nice second effort there from Mr. Sean Gray.
Yeah, keep going to the well until the well dries up, huh?
Gray getting it done so far for Sterling. 1st and 10, football now at their own 33. And, Mike, we talked about the running backs for West Deptford among the South Jersey leaders in scoring, but Mr. Gray, 8 touchdowns this year. He's up there as well. Barikian on first down, gives to Watkins on the pitch. Watkins, he's hit hard. Brought down That time, coming in making the hit was number 28, Sean Knight, coming up from safety, and really laid a hat on him that time. There you get a good look at Sean Knight, who just made the hit there, the 5'8". Here's the pitch on the right side. Sean Gray running right on 2nd and 9. Gets across the 35 to about the 36. And Mike, of course, you know, West Deptford tonight as the first quarter comes to a close here. No score. West Deptford 7-0, you know, with that opportunity to clinch that Colonial Conference spot. And, you know, they're right now in a position that a lot of people didn't think they'd be in.
Well, so many years they've just been the bridesmaid, and this year trying to get the whole thing into one quarter.
So that'll do it for the first quarter. We've got no score here at West Deptford High School. Back with second quarter action right here on Comcast Channel 43 after this. Back here at West Deptford High School, Mike Shute joined by Mike Lindner, and so far, scoreless tie, and Mike, Sterling with their second possession. West Deptford's only touched the ball, Sterling with their third possession. West Deptford's only touched the ball twice, so it's been, you know, kind of a back and forth contest so far. Breaking gives to Meek Washington. Washington across the 40 to the 43, close to first down yardage there on 3rd and 7. We'll see where they mark it. But Mike, it's been a, you know, kind of no one's taken control quite yet, I don't think.
Well, if anybody's taking control, the fact of the matter is Sterling has. And the other fact of the matter is that we're at the point now where West Deptford, who obviously came in hyped up, they understand exactly what's on the line tonight. They got hyped up, and you know, it may have had too much of an adrenaline rush. Sterling came in here just to take care of business, and they found in the first 2 possessions at least, they were able to have some pretty good success offensively. By no means did West Deptford dominate them. They got a couple of first downs on each series. Now, in this situation, they get to punt the football. West Deptford was unable to convert when they had that one chance down near the end zone where they threw the football. That had the bottle. Watch it. Oh, almost.
Punt almost blocked that time by Dante Bowman as he did get it off, and it rolls inside the 20 to the 19. That's where West Deptford's offense will take the field. But the punt almost blocked that time by Mr. Bowman, and of course Dante stands at about 6'6", I think, 6'3". Dante Bowman, 195 senior. So you know, if there's anybody who's going to block a punt, you're going to see Bowman coming in from the defensive end to make the play. West Deptford back now, 1st and 10 inside their own 20. Again, no score here. A minute gone by in the second quarter. And what's been a quick moving first half so far. That happens when you keep the ball on the ground. West Deptford keeps it on the ground here. Big gain for number 32, Kevin Overton. Overton gets out across the 35 to the 36, a gain of about 16 on the carry, Mike.
Overton showed what every back has to show, the ability to shed somebody who's got a clear shot at you. That time, Nicky Washington filled the gap right there on that off-tackle play. Was knocked away by the moving legs of Overton, the veteran player we talked about earlier.
So 1st and 10, ball at the 36. West Deptford on the move. Murnane trying to run the option. He goes down. Looks like the ball is loose. Ball has popped loose. Sterling picks it up. Touchdown, Sterling, number 4 on the return. That is Chop Hammond, the linebacker, who scooped up the fumble, and it is a defensive touchdown for the Silver Knights here. They take the lead 6-0, 10:20 left, second quarter.
And a concerned Clyde Folsom, who's been around football enough to know that no matter what it looks like on paper coming in before the ball game, you just forget that. And as a coach, it's the most difficult thing to get your players, particularly at the high school level, but I believe at any level, to believe that on paper we may be 3, 4, 5 touchdowns better in a club, but that's not what happens on the field. Not when another team comes against you ready to attempt the upset.
Mike Tompkinson on for the extra point. That is up. That is good. Sterling leads 7-0 here. 10:20 left to go. Second quarter. And Sterling, with a big defensive play, grabs the lead here. in this Colonial Conference matchup. As Sterling, of course, comes in 4-3, and Mike, this has to be a big momentum builder for them.
No question about it. I mean, the name of the game before was, can we in fact play against West Deptford? You always tell yourself you can on the conscious level, but it's what happens in the first few series that lets you know whether or not what you believed was going to happen coming in could occur. And they had some success.
Get another look at it.
What happens here is Murnane is hit from behind. Good tackle by Troy Martin. The ball is knocked loose as he tries to toss it. And of course, the trailing back was not yet ready for it. Here's Hammond, who picks it up and says, where's that end zone? I'm on my way. I want to get down there, get in, get the score. He does. And surprise, surprise, all of a sudden 10-20 left to play in the opening half, and it's 7-0. The visitors.
Mike, sometimes does a play like this, when you're a favored team, you're the team that's, supposed to win this game, as West Deptford is 7-0, looking to go 8-0. Is that the kind of play that is the wake-up call that says, hey, we're going to fight here, and now we've got to play?
Well, it's a wake-up call. The question is what happens next. Now, the best thing that could happen to West Deptford is they get this kickoff and run it back for a touchdown.
Tompkins' kickoff is taken at the 20 and returned for about 15 yards. It was Bowman there who got it and brought it back. It'll be 1st and 10. Ball is at about the 31-yard line.
Well, they didn't get the kickoff return for a touchdown, but now they've got to get a sustained drive here. Do not want to make another mistake, have another turnover, and allow Sterling an opportunity to get up by 2 scores.
West Deptford brings the offense back onto the field, and now we've got a stoppage. Officials timeout down on the field.
Equipment repair to the helmet of Chop Hammond.
Hammond probably still celebrating that touchdown there. Maybe forgot to strap that thing back on. Flag on the play as the ball pops loose again. Sterling has recovered, but we've got flags. We will see the call, but right now, Sterling has the football.
Yeah, that'll be a hold. The way that flag was thrown in, that'll be a hold against West Deptford. Clearly, that's going to be turned down, and it'll be Sterling football. That's what we talked about. You do not, as the team that's heavily favored, already down by a score because of a lapse and a turnover. You did not want another turnover here. You wanted a sustained
Number 73 on the offense is declined. 1st down.
Get another look at it. We'll see who made the play. Of course, ball popped loose. It was an inside handoff to Holmes, and look, it just popped straight in the air.
That was Hammond, believe it or not, made that hit again. That came from the left linebacker, inside linebacker position, and knocked the ball loose, and then it was picked up, and they have the next opportunity to score.
Jamal Watkins running left, finding some room, getting into the defensive secondary, picking up a 1st down, and Sterling, Mike, really has momentum on their side right now.
Oh, absolutely, and the opposite is true of the Eagles at West Deptford. They're starting scratching their head, trying to figure out what in the world's going on. This is one that we believe we could have. Drives coaches absolutely crazy. You spend all week long building the game up, telling them how good the other club is, showing them some tape or film of them, proving that this is a club that came, how close to beating Woodbury in the opening game of the season, a couple of yards, and didn't get it. So this is a good club. Now here's a penalty flag coming down, probably going against Sterling.
Flag on the play, and the pickup there by Sean Gray for a couple of yards will be sent back.
To finish that thought, though, every sport, every coach will tell you that you can practice, you can drill, you can build your strength and everything, but hey, it's in the head, it's psychological. So much of it is, and you learn it when you coach. It's that you just cannot figure out when the bug is going to bite you.
Well, if you can read lips, it was holding against Sterling, and it will be 1st now and about 20. 1st and 20 for Sterling here. Ball pushed back just outside their 30 to about the 31.
Nice place to run a little draw or maybe a screen play.
Good look right there. Mike Barikian takes the snap and immediately gives to the fullback coming through there, Nick Washington. Washington no gain, so it'll bring up 2nd and 20. But Mike, it seems Sterling continuing to kind of push that middle of the line trying to, I guess, take away some of the focus on the outside, and where the speedsters have been getting some big gains for Sterling.
Well, they work the options we talk about. Haven't really seen them use it yet, but sooner or later, the more and more they run in off guard and off tackle, and the defensive ends start to cheat back to the inside, a corner tries to sneak, it's going to make the option open.
Sterling with two receivers split out to the right. Barikian noticed the open receiver out there on the far side, tried to get the pass off, but he's sacked, brought down by number 20, Ron Mancuso. But Mike, on the setup, you can see West Deptford's coaches all pointing to the far side of the field saying, get somebody over there, because West Deptford, Sterling had two receivers open over there. Only one defensive back covering them, though.
I'm not sure Barikian read it perfectly himself, or he would have maybe just taken a 2 or 3 step drop instead of trying to slide to the outside where Mancuso met him and threw him down for the loss.
Looked like Barikian almost tried to just fire it out there real quick, and then, Mancuso coming so hard he had nothing, not a chance to get the play off. And now a timeout, Sterling. That's their second they've taken of the evening so far. On that note, we will take a timeout as well. We'll come back with 3rd and 28 for Sterling after this on Comcast Channel 43. Once again, Sterling leads at 7-0. Back with more after this.
Today, the girls' soccer team will play Lincoln Township here at 2 o'clock. And on Wednesday, the boys' soccer team will play Carmen Community here
Ready to...
at 2 o'clock.
Third down and 28 for Sterling. Barikian back to pass, looking for some help, now being forced left and pushed out of bounds after picking up just a couple of yards. Gets inside the 40 to the 38. It'll be forced down in a punting situation for Sterling.
Well, at least they're going to get field position out of this, assuming they get the punt off. Remember last time the pressure that came, particularly from Dante Bowman, coming from the left side. Let's see where he lines up this time, and nearly blocked the punt. But if they get it off here, they should at least maintain field position, which is so important to a club.
Mike Tompkinson on to punt.
Where they're coming, 10 of them.
Gets it off, but high, very high, and very short. It's going to take a Sterling bounce, fortunately, inside the 25. But that punt covering about 17 yards. And the pressure, Mike, forced that kick high from Tompkinson, no question about it.
Yeah, they line up with 10 as if they're coming. Of course, they drop some out to ensure that they've got a defender if there's a fake and some kind of run or throw. But you don't know who's going to drop out, who's going to keep coming. And Tomlinson was so shaken by all that pressure, he's lucky to get it off. And it was a net 12-yard punt.
1st and 10, football at the 25-yard line for West Deptford. Handoff and a pickup of about 5 yards that time. It was Kevin Overton on the carry.
And interestingly, number 3, Mike Barikian, the starting offensive quarterback, who starts at defensive end, makes the stop. Tell you what, that tells you how thin you are, how deep you are, one or the other. Usually it doesn't tell you how great the player is. I mean, usually that's what they're going to tell you. We got to have him out there. But you'd prefer if you had your druthers not to have the starting quarterback playing at defensive end.
2nd and 5.
There we go.
This is Holmes. Holmes has some room. He got through the secondary, but couldn't get that extra burst. Finally brought down at the 36, but a big gain for Brett Holmes. Looked like he may have been gone for a second there.
Well, maybe we got to reassess what we were just saying about Barikian, because they clearly went right through that hole, and he's left at the line of scrimmage. But had it not been for Mike Barikian, that's a touchdown, because he closed about a 15-yard lead that the runner had as he was shooting left and right, and made the touchdown safety tackle. So it may well be the talent and not the thinness of the club on the far side that keeps Barikian out there at defensive end.
1st and 10, football at the Sterling 36. West Deptford now trying to get some momentum on their side. 6 minutes, 50 seconds left to go here in the first half. It's Holmes breaking some tackles, getting inside the 30 to about the 28. Short of a first down by a yard or two.
Yeah, this is the drive and the kind of plays that West Deptford anticipated running tonight and the kind of success that they're looking forward to. Let me tell you what's coming. It's coming. The option, either left or right, is coming. They now have that front 6, 7, 8 players so concerned about the off-tackle to off-tackle hold that they're going to find room outside.
Second and 3. This time it's Overton, spun around, but getting across the 25 to the 24. First down for West Deptford.
Joe Boston made a good move on the inside, was unable to wrap him up and make the tackle, however, to keep him from getting first down territory. But at least he was able to disrupt the play enough so that he only got the first down and maybe a yard or two more.
First and 10. Ball spotted just inside the 25. 6 minutes remain here in the second quarter. Murnane on the key, firing now, and throwing just out of the reach of the receiver, number 45, Jim Hogan, the tight end, trying to make the play.
Well, good play to throw. If you're going to throw on first down when you expect the defensive backfield is not looking for it, good opportunity, particularly on a play action movement, which is what they gave them, to freeze the linebackers and hold the corners. Hogan had cleared, in fact, was open downfield, but quarterback Murnane could not make the connection.
Second and 10, West Deptford. We've got flags now thrown at the line of scrimmage, perhaps a delay of game or false start.
Dead ball foul. False start. 73 on the offense. Second down.
False start it is.
Pat McAfee getting the call. A treat here tonight, as you know. Normally they will not announce the names and numbers of the players at the high school level.
We've had that happen a couple
times. They don't do it at the college level.
We've had that happen a couple times this
yeah.
year. Pointing the guilty fingers out there at the officials.
All right, unbalanced the other way.
Second 15.
Look at it.
Oh, we've got a screen to Bowman. Bowman open down the middle, weaving his way through the Sterling defense. Gets inside the 10 to the 9. First down for West Deptford. It'll be first and goal.
Touchdown saving tackle by Nick Rebecca. They lined up unbalanced to the right side that time. Sterling did not adjust that well, but then everybody made as if they were going to block for the passing, and coming back from the right side is Bowman, who's wide open. There it is, the step back. Everybody dropping for defense, and there he is, wide open, coming right there, and lots of movement downfield.
First and goal, it's Holmes. Touchdown number 11, Brett Holmes. 7-6 now the score.
No, erase that. You're going to get a motion penalty against West Deptford. Illegal motion coming before the snap of the football. Somebody moving, one of the backs.
Illegal shift on the offense. 2 men in motion at one time. First down.
No, not only one, but two of them moving.
That'll bring it back to the 14, so a 5-yard penalty there. It'll be first and goal at the 14. 5:16 left to go. Again, Sterling leads 7-0. But West Deptford on the move. And Brett Holmes would like to get that one back. See if they give it to him again. It goes to Overton this time on a delay, and Overton gets inside the 5 to the 3.
Coming out with the double slot formation. That's two split ends and two wing backs, and that time coming back with reverse motion to the inside. That play started years ago, used to be called the Syracuse scissor play. Delaware wing T, they adopted the play as an inside handoff to the wing coming back, and incorporated by almost all teams that run a wing or double wing offense.
Ball at the 4, second and goal now for West Deptford. Trying to tie this one up. They trail at 7-0. This is Holmes, and he's in. Brett Holmes, his 11th touchdown of the year, and it is a 7-6 ball game with 4:36 left to go here in the first half. Certainly, Mike, that touchdown helps erase some of the mistakes so far West Deptford's made with the football.
Well, I'll tell you what, that offensive series, you can see confidence, could you not? Confidence on the club all the way downfield. And that could spell trouble for Sterling the rest of the evening if they have gotten their act together.
Jason Williams will come on to attempt the point after. Kick is up. It is good. We've got a tie game 7-7 here in the Colonial Conference. In a game West Deptford would love to win this one capture that first conference championship. Right now, though, we've got a tie score, 7-7 here in the second quarter on Comcast Channel 43. I'm Mike Shute along with Mike Linder. Mike, so far, West Deptford's made a couple of mistakes, 2 turnovers. Sterling has taken at least decent care of the ball. They do have 1 turnover themselves, but it seems like right now West Deptford kind of took some of that momentum back.
Important try for them that time in order to convert and get the score out of it. This has been a great fall for West Deptford sports. The girls soccer team in the tournament.
Undefeated in the Colonial Conference, too.
Boys soccer team defeated Deptford in the opening game of the NJSIAA tournament already. The field hockey team defeated Haddon Heights the other day, or today, even 2-1. And so the field hockey team, the girls soccer, and boys soccer team, all continuing to play in NJSIAA competition for championships. And West Deptford, of course, on their way. They will perform. The only question whether or not they're going to get a home game or not.
Well, a win here certainly would lock up a home game
I don't know about lock it up. They will certainly come pretty darn close.
Here's the kickoff, and we've got some running room. Gray, and Gray is shoved out of bounds at the 40, but not after a pretty nice return, and it sets Sterling up in good position here inside West Deptford territory at the 40-yard line.
We talked about a confidence-building drive on West Deptford's part. There wasn't any question in our mind that happened, but remember we talked about before what would have helped West Deptford following the score by Sterling would have been a run back for a touchdown on the kickoff. Well, that nearly helped Sterling that time. Here's the touchdown run. Just get down, find that initial hole when you know you only need 4 or 5 yards, and fall into the end zone.
This is Watkins. Watkins is met at the line of scrimmage, stays on his feet, but they'll give him forward progress back to the 40, but he was met quickly that time, and it was Brett Holmes making the stop.
Yeah, Holmes came in there still excited over his touchdown, huh? I kind of believe that when you have a big run back like that, the thing to do is go play action pass and try to catch them when they're still worried about what had just preceded it. Instead, they went right back to West Deptford's strength, and right in the middle, Holmes saw the play, filled the hole, and came up with the no gain.
No gain that time, 2nd and 10. Barikian back to pass. He's got a couple receivers flying down the field. Barikian almost brought down by the helmet, stays on his feet, and now is finally dropped at the 35-yard line. And on the sack there, number 30, Isaac Okai, was one of the players who made the hit. And Barikian not happy.
No, not at all.
Looked like he might have had a face mask there that he was looking for that was not called.
At least he had the top of the helmet. That's a tough call for an official. There's no question that he got grabbed in the helmet. Boy, is he upset. Whether or not there's the face mask violation is one that the referee standing right there had to make the call, and he clearly didn't. That was the play I was looking for on first down, not on second down. Little play action, find somebody open. All you need is one mistake at the right place in the defensive backfield, and you got to score out of it.
Now 3rd and 16, definitely throwing situation here. Barikian is back to pass. Not much time, and he's going to tuck it and run now, and finally brought down back at the line of scrimmage. So no gain that time for Barikian. It'll bring up 4th down, 4th and 16. Dante Bowman making his presence felt once again as he made the hit.
Bowman having a good evening so far. He shows great quickness from the defensive side of the football. One, he reads well, finds the play, and then explodes to the point of attack. And has had maybe the strongest defensive night of anybody so far on the West Deptford side.
Back deep to return the punt, Bob Weinhardt, number 16. A junior at 5'8", 170. He'll take the kick from Tompkinson. This one's a low line drive. It bounces at the 20, and Weinhardt lets it go. Bounces inside the 15 to the 10. That's where West Deptford will take over. 1st and 10. 2:07 left to go here. We've got a tie football game, 7-7. Again, 2:07 left first half. Of course, at halftime here at West Deptford High School, they will be inducting some alumni, I guess, into the school's Hall of Fame. A big night here at West Deptford High School, hoping to make some history of their own. Again, looking for that first ever conference championship.
Yeah, I think what you do here now, though, with the 2:07 to go, you just try and protect the football, get one first down out of it, you should be able to run the timeout. But
Brett Holmes
Holmes does well here, as you point out, calling his number, but I don't think about and worry about breaking a long one here as much as I'm concerned about not having a turnover and giving the Silver Knights from Sterling an opportunity maybe to get a quick second score and jump up in the lead right before halftime.
Holmes picks up 7 that time. It'll be 2nd and 3. Mike, West Deptford does have all 3 of its timeouts left, so let's not count out the fact that they could try and put some points on the board here, steal that momentum even further away from Sterling.
I think they want to worry about the football before they worry about that unless they get out near midfield.
Handoff goes to the interior part of the line. It's Holmes once again. Not much there, maybe a yard or so. Give him 2, and it'll be 3rd and 1.
I'll be in no hurry here. 112, 111, 110 and counting. Take the time you have to get this playoff. You get the first down fine. You can then be assured that you can control the football till halftime.
Now under a minute as Dave Murnane comes to the line of scrimmage.
That's going to hurt. That's going to hurt. Jim Hogan, the tight end, looks as if he jumps, goes too fast, and that's going to cost them 5, make it very difficult, number 1, to get the first down because they'll need 6 yards. And the second thing is it stops the clock at 55 seconds. And following this play, if they don't get it, if I'm Sterling, interestingly, I believe I have 1 timeout left. I'm going to call timeout, take a chance maybe on a block of a punt.
Sure.
Something of that nature, or at least even a return of the punt. So time management on the far side right now. Stop them here. Sterling coaches should be screaming timeout.
3rd and 6. See what West Deptford pulls out of the bag here as the clock resumes. Now 50 seconds and counting. Murnane back to pass, going for Bowman along the near side. Bowman makes the catch athletically and is brought down at the 39. The clock will stop as they move the chains with 42 seconds left to go. Score tied at 7.
Whichever coach called that down on the sideline, I guess you got to give him all the credit in the world. I just can't, myself look at throwing the ball on 3rd and 6 down that close. But that's why they're there. We're here.
Now West Deptford trying to hurry up a little bit with 36 seconds, 35 now. Murnane again back to pass, throwing towards the near sideline, this time incomplete. It'll bring up 2nd and 10 as the ball's at the 39-yard line.
Yeah, it does stop the clock at least. They won't have to burn one of those timeouts. And they still have a lot of yardage to go, and it'd be very difficult to take it in chunks of 5 to 10 yards with only 32 seconds to go. So Murnane's going to have to look downfield.
Tell you what, it's not a bad idea to get Dante Bowman back in there on the field either. At least he's got that. He's definitely got a height advantage over all the Sterling defensive backs. And he showed it on that last play. Murnane this time will roll to his right now under pressure, escapes the pressure, trying to find the sideline, and he gets out of bounds at the 36. So call that a sack and a loss of 3 yards.
Good closure by Ben Lopeman that time, and also good discipline. He really held back just a little bit as he saw Murnane getting to the sideline. Did not want to get a roughing penalty with a big hit out of bounds.
Loss of 3 there. It'll bring up 3rd and 13 as the ball back at the 37.
Well, same situation again if they do not get the first down here. I'm Sterling one more time. I will burn my final timeout and try to take an opportunity of blocking a punt.
Officially, we'll call 3rd and 12 on the scoreboard with 23 seconds left to go. So a loss of 2 that time for Murnane. He's back to pass once again. Through, ooh, wow. Threw it to Bowman, who didn't seem quite ready for it. Chop Hammond was almost gone again.
Yeah, well, Bowman wasn't ready for it. And fortunately for West Deptford, Chop Hammond wasn't ready for it either. That ball showed up unexpectedly just about in his breadbasket. He gets this one. He goes all the way downfield. Now, Sterling didn't even have to call timeout. Incomplete pass. Clock will stop at 20. I got to bring 10 guys here. Huh?
Looks like Sterling's going to put 9 at the line of scrimmage.
I'm going to put 9 back in.
Trying to set up a return. Neek Washington back deep at the 35. Now steps back towards his 30. Jason Williams will punt it. He just gets it off, almost blocked. Ball comes down at the 40 and then hits Murnane at the 38. We've got a and that's where they're gonna mark it a flag event. Fell out of the pocket of one of our officials down there, but that's all. Was not thrown. Fell out of the pocket, so no flag. And Sterling will take over with 12 seconds left to go. Back at their own 39. They have 1 timeout remaining. See, what they can do with 12 seconds. Not a lot of time, certainly in this situation.
Yeah, it depends how much confidence you have in your quarterback. Here you got the senior quarterback, been around football so long. I think you can allow him to drop back and throw, and he knows enough not to throw the football unless somebody is wide open. Do not force it at least to the left or right sideline where the possibility of one can be picked off and returned up the sideline for a touchdown.
Now, talking to Ty Green before, they've got a trick play in the bag, but they didn't use it here as Barikin goes back to pass. Now keeps it. He is hit and brought down at the 45. And that should run out the clock here with 1 second left to go. Actually, a stoppage of the clock on the field. Sterling uses their last timeout. Why not go for something here? Make something happen with 1 second left to play. Football at the 45.
At the very least, you're showing confidence in your club, showing confidence in your senior leadership, showing confidence in your quarterback, your belief that, hey, he knows enough. He is not going to put the ball where it should not be put, where the opposing defense has an opportunity to make a return, get a touchdown. And you got to use those timeouts, take that shot.
That's one thing Coach Green from Sterling was talking about this year. That's one thing his team has a lot of is some experience coming back, players that are smart football players, guys that know what to do when they're in a situation like this. See what they do with 1 second left to go.
Now, assume they picked up that victory against Woodbury. They would now be 5-2. And assume Woodbury didn't have the ineligible player. Following my logic here, West Deptford would be 6. Well, this would only be a game difference between these two teams. Looks so much different, 4-3 and 7-1, or 7-0.
Second down, Barikin back to pass, throws near side, with a little hook and ladder. An interesting play. Of course, West Deptford in the prevent handled it well as the pass was complete. It was thrown to Nick Rebecca, number 12, who pitched to number 5, Jamal Watkins, and Watkins gets to the 46-yard line of West Deptford, but that's where he is brought down. And 7-7 your score at halftime here on Comcast Channel 43. Glad you're joining us, and we'll be back with more football action after this. Back here at West Deptford High School, Mike Shute along with Mike Linder, and 7-7 the halftime score. Maybe Sterling, doing what they hoped to do, and West Deptford kind of, Mike, not really in a position they wanted to be in right now.
Yeah, you could look at it that way. Another way of looking at it, the way I'm choosing to look at it, this is the way it should be. If you're going to wind up winning the championship, shouldn't come easy, huh? Got to earn it.
There you go.
West Deptford right now is in that position where they've got to earn it. Sterling scoring first, getting that touchdown as a result of the turnover. Fumble, picked up and run in by Chop Hammond, and then West Deptford driving the football all the way down the field to finally get a very hard-earned touchdown.
Mike Tompkinson to kick it off, back deep. The kick's going to come to, looks like Knight back there. Sean Knight, who gets the ball, and he busts loose, breaks a couple of tackles, and is still dragging tacklers across midfield into Sterling territory, and a good start to the second half for West Deptford, Mike.
Yeah, it's always a great start for the team receiving when the kickoff man has to make the tackle. Tomlinson, of course, kicks the ball off, then serves as the safety, and he's the one that finally comes up with the stop. Fortunately for Sterling, Tomlinson, a pretty good athlete. He's able to make that touchdown-saving tackle.
So 1st and 10 for West Deptford in Sterling territory to start this third quarter. The handoff goes to Knight. 28. That's Sean Knight. Yeah, he takes it, and Chop Hammond chops him down across midfield. A loss of a couple, though, on the play. It'll bring up 2nd and 12.
Now, Hammond read the two pulling linemen. Hammond's the inside linebacker. He sees the two linemen pull and go down the line. Bang. His key is just fill the gap and try to get to the runner before he can get to the point where he wants to make the turn upfield. And although he's aided by the runner falling, I think he had him in any event in the backfield. Good read, good response, and good tackle by Hammond.
Renane gives, this time it's Overton, and Overton finds a lot of room, finally gets tripped up deep in the Sterling secondary. Gabe Macario makes the hit, but not before a first down is picked up.
Yeah, you saw those first two plays, and just watching the linemen pull and go to the point of attack with great speed and a really explosion, you kind of feel that Coach got them in the locker room during the half and just said, hey, we're coming out and play straight ahead football, and it's going to be man on man. Let's see who comes up strongest.
1st and 10, West Deptford. Ball off there. Sterling 33. Overton took a knee there as he kind of got tripped up. Looked like he just kind of zigged when he should have zagged and lost maybe a yard on the carry.
Yeah, they'll bring the football back. He tried to make as if he hadn't had contact with the ground and pick up an additional 4 or 5 yards. Not going to happen though.
Mike, we got word that West Deptford was going to make a little change to the offense, go with the single wing here in the second half, go back to that, something they're normally used to doing. In motion was Knight. Murnane will keep it, get across the 30. Not much more though. And we will have 3rd and about 7.
Now 3 plays now that have been run this half so far. West Deptford backs have had trouble with their footing. 2 of the running backs and now the quarterback Murnane both came up stumbling a little bit, as Murnane did on that one. May have had 3 or 4 more yards before he was taken to the turf.
9:30 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Tie game here in the Colonial Conference. And Murnane doesn't like what he sees and calls timeout. Timeout on the field, called by the West Deptford quarterback Dave Murnane. And of course, Mike, this early in the game, when you've got a tie score, if you can help it, you don't want to use those timeouts at this stage.
I never want to blow a timeout just because of some confusion out there, and may well have been that Murnane did not like the play it was called against the defense he saw, or he did not see that all his offensive players were aligned in the proper spots.
A little bit of a chilly night, but Clyde Folsom's still donning the shorts, and he was in the short sleeve and shorts before this, at least for the first half.
Yeah, the coach got to show the way. Remember, go back a few years, I first saw that with coach at Audubon High School, Harry Gamble, who made it a point, not only he but his whole staff would have to remain in shorts throughout the entire season. Supposed to show how tough they were, I guess. And of course, Harry went on to coach at University of Penn and Lafayette College, and ultimately administrative assistant to the Eagles, and rode that position all the way up to president of the Philadelphia Eagles. So he is a tough guy, still is. Now retired while working in the NFL office a little bit.
3rd and 7 for West Deptford. See what they came up with there out of the timeout. Jim Hogan was the man in motion, number 45. The handoff goes to Overton, 32. Kind of tries to bash his way inside the 25, cannot. He's going to be about 2 yards short of the first down. An interesting field position here for West Deptford. You punt, do you go for it? Looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field, though, and go for it.
Yeah, they figure
about 3.
If they punt the football and it goes into the end zone, which would be what you would expect unless you had an outstanding punter could place it anywhere you want, they'd only pick up 5.5 yards when the ball's brought back out to the 20. So play here is definitely to go for it.
4th and 2. They've got a receiver split wide to the left side. The handoff, though, goes inside. It's Overton's second surge. He may or may not have gotten it. It's going to be close as the officials wave to stop the clock, and Sterling pointing the opposite direction. They think they may have stopped him.
Well, I do not believe they have it. I think they're about foot and a half shy. In fact, enough that Cliff Corsi says we do not have to measure that one. So big defensive stop by Sterling gives them an opportunity now to come out and see what kind of adjustments they've made.
We've got to change the possession. We'll take a quick break. 7-7 to score here on Comcast Channel 43. Back with more after this. Back here at West Deptford High School, Mike Shute, Mike Linder. 7-7 the score. Sterling on first down, picked up about 3 yards from Watkins on the carry, number 5 for the Silver Knights, Jamal Watkins. So it brings up 2nd and 7. This time running near side, it's Gray. Gray skipping his way against the grain, now looking for room, and picks up about 5 more. So it's going to be 3rd and short situation for Sterling. And Mike, in talking to Coach Todd Green from Sterling before the game, one thing he said was, as much as we need to stop them, we need to keep ourselves in opportunities and keep it third and short, second and short, they've got that situation here.
Yeah, that's what all coaches look for, of course. They want to be in a position where the other team cannot sit and think pass. And, also give them the chance to use all plays in their playbook. They have that opportunity here, as you point out.
Barikian gives to the fullback. Not much there. He's going to be short of the first down, it looks like, by about a yard, as it was Gray taking the inside handoff that time and picking up about a yard. So short of the first down by about a yard. They'll bring the punting unit on, led by, of course, the punter, Mike Tompkinson, who's been under a little bit of pressure tonight, Mike. We'll see what West Deptford brings here.
He's been under a lot of pressure, and you keep wondering if there's going to be a moment at which they finally are able to come up with that block punt. All you need is a little wobbly snap, maybe, to an additional half second. That seems to be about all they needed to get to him.
Snaps a little offline. Tompkinson gets it away, though, quickly. Takes a Sterling bounce down inside the 40 to 35 and trickling down to about the 32. That's where the West Deptford offense will be taking the field, led by the quarterback, of course, Dave Murnane. And Mike, Dave Murnane, quarterback, coming back from shoulder surgery. He had a severely separated throwing shoulder last year, that right shoulder. And he's come back and 100% and really proven to be quite a leader for Clyde Folsom and the West Deptford football team.
A key, always, of course, the quarterback position, and you love it when it's a leader that, you know, just by his natural personality has that ability to have everybody following him. Her name is one of those kind of young men.
Handoff up the middle. That time it was Holmes, not much there. And Sterling's done a pretty good job, Mike, of keeping Holmes under wraps so far tonight.
Well, you remember early on the first series, the big option play that was run by Murnane, and he was able to make the read perfectly, get downfield, and then ultimately downfield he was able to make the pitch, and they got maybe an additional 10, 15 yards. You keep waiting for him to go back to that series. And we've seen the option maybe one or two more times called, but the way everybody is tightening up now on the Sterling inside 8, the time will be coming.
Second and about 8. Murnane gets away from some pressure, now rolling to his right, looking for some help, and nice tackle there in the open field, coming up and making the hit. I think it was number 5, it looked like maybe Jamal Watkins, or number 9, Gabe Macario, one of the two. That was on that far side of the field. And it was Macario who made the hit. Nicely done there in the open field.
Murnane does something a quarterback does not want to do unless you have receivers who are looking backfield towards you and know that with the pattern being busted, you're going to come back in the direction of the quarterback, because Murnane left where the play was designed, coming to the near side, reversed himself, got all the way back to the far side. He needed a receiver to follow him in that direction, and he did not really get it. And then with Macario closing so quickly, making the shoestring tackle, he winds up with a loss.
So Macario gets the sack and brings up 3rd and 11. Murnane, little screen. This time it's far side, and it's Sean Knight breaking a couple of tackles over there, but held short of the first down. It will be 4th and about 4 for West Deptford in another punting situation. So two teams kind of trading off so far here in this early going of the second half.
Now remember, this was not what West Deptford wanted. They wanted to come out. The adjustments the coaching staff had given them at halftime, they had to believe that these were going to function adequately. They did. They got them right downfield, if you remember, but they stalled at the 25-yard line. Now they've got to get a big punt, not allow a return, and have field position change, and then hope for maybe a turnover at the other end.
Jason Williams on the punt. Nick Washington back to receive it. He's going to get a chance to catch this one at the 35, and he's got some room. Washington skipping across the 40 and now out to the 42. A couple of quick steps, but unable to break it was Nick Washington.
Yeah, at least Washington showed the courage that you need in order to take it. Not quite like one of the players on the Philadelphia Eagles last week that perhaps caused the team, in my mind, to lose the football game when he stepped aside about the 20-yard line and chose not to take a punt. They wound up, if you remember, on the 3, and therefore had the fumble, which led to the tying touchdown, which led to the ultimate loss. A little courage, awfully important, and the guy that's going to be in the back when the punt is coming. 1st
and 10 for Sterling. Handoff goes to the first man through. That looked like Washington got to give that time, number 2. Washington taking that one, a 6'2", 185-pound senior. Doing a nice job both sides of the football tonight is Nick Washington. It'll be 2nd and about 5 for the Silver Knights. They approach West Deptford territory. Ball at the 47-yard line. You're right now in the Sterling backfield. Not getting the handoff, though. It's going to be Gray, and Gray gets across midfield. Ball is loose, and it looks like West Deptford's got it. They do have it defensively in there. Looks like maybe Sean Knight, number 28, came out of the pile with it as the ball popped loose. Mike, we talked about turnovers. Sterling was able to take advantage of only one of West Deptford's two. Now West Deptford has a chance to do it the other way.
Turnover is the key, and field position second key. This time, even had they stopped them here on 3 and out, they still would have been facing a punt that maybe would have driven them back to their 15 or 20-yard line. Here instead, with the turnover, they pick it up just shy of midfield.
1st and 10, West Deptford at their own 49-yard line. 3:40 left to go here in the third quarter. Score tied at 7. This is Knight, and Knight gets across midfield into Sterling territory to about the Silver Knights 46. So a good gain there of about 5. It'll bring up 2nd and 5.
One nice thing about being at midfield now, beyond it being in Sterling territory, is the ability to use every play in your playbook. This is a chance, I still think, where if you're going to throw the football, you throw on 1st or 2nd down. The other team is trying to stop you. They're not looking fast. I'd like to see some play action here and toss the ball long. They got the big guy, Dante Bowman, split wide.
Murnane gives to Holmes, and Holmes again has just stood up. They're not giving Brett Holmes anything in there. They're going to say he got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 5. Again, ball at the 46-yard line. Clock running, 2:45 and counting.
Now your corners can drop off a little bit. Your safety men can read pass first because you're at 3rd down instead of, as we were talking about, potentially passing our 1st or 2nd down. Makes it more difficult here.
Murnane surveying the defense. Now puts Kevin Overton in motion. Murnane back to pass, just a 3-step drop and a quick fire across the middle, and Bowman was open. Couldn't hang on. It'll be 4th and 5. We've got a flag on the play, though.
It
going to
goes
go against West Deptford. Sterling probably will decline and take the punt here.
I certainly would decline it, force the team to punt the football to me.
They do decline the penalty, and it will be 4th down.
Second time we've had that motion penalty, 2-man illegal shift, moving before the ball. Last time, remember, was in the early going when they were getting down in deep, and it hurt them on that drive. Hurts them again here.
So 4th and 5. It will be Jason Williams back on to punt once more. Again, back deep is Nick Washington. Sterling bringing the heat this time. They cannot get the block. Washington will take it back at his own 22. Sidesteps a couple tacklers, but West Deptford, nice job of downfield coverage. It will be 1st down and 10 for West Deptford at their for Sterling at their 27-yard line.
Yeah, the game settles in here to 3 and out for both clubs, huh? This is certainly not what most of the fans on this side of the stadium came and expected to see tonight.
Both defenses kind of settling in and getting it done right now. 7-7 to score, 2:13 left to go. Once again, Sterling with the football on 1st and 10. Mike Baricki, the senior quarterback, would love nothing better than they pick up a Colonial Conference win here. He winds down his career. And Sterling really, Mike, still kind of not out of the running, I would say, of a playoff berth themselves. If you look at the PowerPoints in South Jersey.
You know, it's interesting. I try and let the computer do the decision-making. Sometimes at this point in the season, it becomes so difficult to figure who's going to have a spot, who isn't. This year, of course, more teams going to be allowed in, and as a result, they potentially have a shot.
Sterling 10th in the PowerPoints. They take 8 teams. They win here, beat a Group 3 team. They can slide their way right in there. 2nd and 8. Handoff is up the middle. Not much doing there.
They would get points not only for a victory over them and the group, but also for the number of victories that West Deptford has to this point.
Yeah.
So this will be a big PowerPoint evening coming against a team that's 7-0 at this point.
Yeah. Sterling, of course, in Group 2, so they'll be playing the larger school. They could cash in tonight. Minute 15 left to go. Score tied at 7. It brings up 3rd and about 7 for Sterling. One receiver split out to either side. Washington goes in motion. The pitch goes to Gray. Gray got some room and a burst of speed on the left side. Gets across the 35 to the 36. Close to a first down, but it looks like they're short from, if you take a look at the screen.
Yeah, they got to be about a yard short. Should not be a decision here that's difficult. This should be kicked. This is not the time yet to say, okay, team, I've got confidence in you. We're going with you. Not yet. Not here. And interestingly, this is starting to run down maybe one or two more plays in this quarter at all. And time for Clyde Folsom maybe to get his team off to the side and challenge him and let them know just how important the next period is to their future if they have forgotten it.
Here's the punt.
Oh, there it is.
Block. There it is. Bowman finally got one. We saw him get a couple near blocks. The ball's still loose and finally recovered by Sterling, but it will be West Deptford football back at the 20-yard line. It was Dante Bowman who made the block. Mike, we've seen him tonight. He's been close a couple times. This time he gets the big play.
Yeah, it's been coming. It's been coming. It's been coming. And we talked about how it would take just a little, maybe a half-second difference with the snap. And it was a high snap. That was the difference. As a result, they had to get up there, reach for it, Tomlinson, and that allowed Bowman to get there with that 6'3" frame, get those arms up and extended. And here's the turnover. Take advantage of it right away.
Bowman went in unscathed there. Nobody touched him, and he got the block easily.
Well, they haven't been blocking him at all in any one of the situations. But this time, that high snap hurt him.
In motion goes Knight, and he takes the handoff, running around the 20 to the 15, brought down at about the 13. This could be the little bit of momentum switch that West Deptford needed, and Bowman provides the spark here as the third quarter comes to a close. The score, West Deptford 7, Sterling 7. Back with more after this on Comcast Channel 43. Stay with us. Back here at West Deptford High School, Mike Shute, Mike Linder. West Deptford on the move, trying to break this tie. 7-7 as we start the fourth quarter.
Well, we know that it's the biggest 12 minutes of the season for West Deptford, but this could be the biggest 3 or 4 plays right here at the outset of the fourth quarter.
Murnane gives to Holmes. Holmes gets inside the 10. Falls down at about the 8. They stop the clock as Holmes picks up a first down. So it will be first and goal for West Deptford inside the 10-yard line. Ball spotted at the 8.
Yeah, very, very difficult when you're first and goal, huh? Cannot get an additional first down. If you're going to have it, you like to have it about the 5 or the 4-yard line. Instead, they're about as far back as you can go without getting a first down. We'll see if they get a big yardage on the first play.
Murnane gives to Overton. Overton flashing left. Sterling, though, nice job of pursuit, and they shut it down quickly. It'll be second down and goal.
Yeah, at least they have it in the center of the field here, huh? Saw the good extra point, which would lead to the potential of a field goal if they are unable to punch it in. They've got good location of the ball no matter what happens now to get a score one way or the other.
Overton got about a yard, maybe 2. Second and goal, ball at the 7 now. Murnane rolling right. He's looking to pass. He's got a receiver open. Now Murnane takes it himself. Oh, touchdown. What a play by Dave Murnane as he hurled himself into the air and into the end zone. Probably maybe the biggest touchdown he's going to score in his career. Wow, an exciting run by Dave Murnane.
No way he was going to be denied, was it? He got down, and you know what? It was interesting. When he got back, he had a man open momentarily, Bowman, crossing the back of the end zone. But it appeared that he was going to get covered, and as a result, Murnane all of a sudden saw nothing but green in front of him, took off, and then as he got close, he made that dive and was able to get into the end zone. Hey, how about that play?
And of course, the camera, we stayed with Murnane. He's now going to be the long snapper here on the extra point, and a very big extra point here. Kick is up. It is good, and it's 14-7 with 10:56 left to go. So West Deptford gets off to a good start here in the fourth quarter, Mike, taking a 14-7 lead, 10:56 left to go. And man, Murnane really just no regard for his own body. He just flew himself into the air, and pretty, you know, West Deptford, the Eagles. That reminds me of a play Randall Cunningham has made once or twice when he played for the Eagles.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of it in college ball the last few years. That players doing all kinds of flips down near the end zone. Some not getting up as rapidly as others. Wasn't sure my name was going to get up too quickly there, but as long as it didn't have an injury that was long-lasting, he would have taken that punishment in order to get that score.
West Deptford gets their first lead of the ball game too, Mike, here in the fourth quarter. 10:56 left to go. Sterling, of course, took a 7-0 lead back in the second quarter on the fumble return for a touchdown by Hammond. Then, of course, Holmes with the touchdown run for West Deptford, also in the second quarter, tying the game at 7. The scoreless third quarter brings us to this fourth quarter, and Vernane's touchdown in the point after make it 14-7. There's the kickoff from the freshman Jason Williams. Little confusion back there amongst the return men from Sterling. Nick Washington finally picks it up back at his 10, and he is met and hammered and brought down immediately at the 15. And wow, West Deptford, what a difference one play can make, Mike. They're just fired up now.
Yeah, they're fired up, and that's bad news for Sterling, particularly as they're driven back because of the mistake on special teams and have to dig themselves out of a deep hole with the ball marked at their own 16-yard line. This is not what the Silver Knights coaching staff nor players wanted. They would have preferred to get a run back, get it up around the 40, 45-yard line. Instead, they're going to have to look at, you know, straight ahead football and try to get it out where they would not be hurt too desperately with a turnover.
First and 10, the run goes to the right side of the line. It was Jamal Watkins on the carry that time, number 5. Got about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8.
Yeah, the Eagles defense at this point realize, of course, they want to force the 3 and out, get the football back, and maybe catch Sterling just down a little bit as they fall behind by the 7 points and get a what may well be a game-sealing touchdown.
2nd and 8. Mike Barikian, the senior quarterback for Sterling, brings them to the line of scrimmage. This time the carry was by Jamal Watkins. Watkins met and brought down. In on the tackle that time, Sean Knight, number 28.
What you saw in that play we haven't seen all night long, that was gang tackling by West Deptford. When they had just had that confidence, when they saw the ball, saw the man initially hit, they all converged on it. Before there was a little waiting instead of just reaction. It was waiting, thinking, then going. What you need always, of course, is reaction. Get to the football.
That was a pickup of about 2. It brings up 3rd and 4 here. A key play for Sterling. Barikian with the pitch. It's Gray, and Gray gets nothing. And unfortunately for him, he'll have to like it as he's short of the 25. So another punting situation for Sterling. West Deptford's defense really has come to play in the second half.
No, that was that reaction again. That time you saw it on that play as Sean Knight came. He saw it, he read it, boom, he exploded up into the backfield and held Sterling to no gain and forced the punt. But that's the difference, the quickness that you get, the kind of explosion you get when you're playing your kind of football instead of thinking about what the game means. And I think in the first half, West Deptford was thinking about what this game meant.
Bob Weinhardt back to receive the punt. They get this one away, and it's a good kick. Weinhardt has to retreat all the way back to his 42, but now breaks a couple tackles, has some room, skips by a couple, has one man to beat. Here he goes along the near sideline. It's Weinhardt, and he is shoved out of bounds at the 5-yard line, but what a play. And Weinhardt, you can celebrate, certainly. Great return there as West Deptford keeps the momentum going, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Is that amazing? What a difference, as you point out, when a team starts to play, it stops thinking, starts playing. Once again, Barikian has to come up strong, make the saving tackle at about the 6-yard line. But this game is totally different right now. We talked about how football and all other sports are played so much, above the neck, in the head. It's psychological. That's what you recognize at any level in any sport. The difference here is now they are responding, they are reacting, they are playing. First half, they were thinking.
Took them 36 minutes, Mike. The first 3 quarters, they, kind of did not seem to be in this one, but now here in the fourth quarter they are. They've got the lead, they've got the ball. 14-7, back with more after this in Comcast Channel 43. Back here at West Deptford High School, Mike Shoot along with Mike Linder. West Deptford leading it by the score of 14-7. They've got the football. They've got a big punt return, and now they're ready to, and poised perhaps, Mike, to maybe score here, and that might knock this one home for West Deptford.
And you can bet during that timeout that's exactly what Clyde Folsom told him when he went out there. Men, this is what we've been playing for all season long. This is what teams at West Deptford have been playing for since the inception of the school. Let's push this one into the end zone, close the door.
Holmes tries to spin his way down across the 5-yard line. It will be second and goal. We've got an injured player down on the field for Sterling. Number 90, Joe Boston. Holding that left arm up close to the chest there, perhaps shoulder. And Mike, in talking to Sterling's coach before this one, they had one of their other starters, tight end Todd Anderson, a senior, who hurt his shoulder yesterday in practice, so he's been out today, certainly not in the lineup, not playing. So that causing a little bit of a blow for Sterling's defense, and as well as their offense. He's a tight end, defensive end for the Silver Knights.
Well, as we wait on this timeout, remember that this we had mentioned was the night of Hall of Fame inductions for former athletes at West Deptford. At halftime, they inducted Carol Brown Hensel from the class of 1964. She captained the first varsity field hockey, basketball, and softball teams here, and made quite an impact. Went on to teach and coach for a while. Joe Russo. Everybody in the West Deptford area remembers Joe, who in 1975 was the South Jersey Touchdown Club's Back of the Week, and also named second team All-South Jersey. All-Olympic Conference 2 years running for Joe Russo. Doreen Love, class of 1977, real all-around outstanding athlete, field hockey, basketball, and track. First woman to ever score 1,000 points for the girls basketball team here. Chosen All-South, All-Conference, Group 3 All-Stars, 2 years All-South Jersey. Second team, her senior year. Catherine Hensinger, class of 1989, outstanding athlete in soccer, swimming, and track. First team South Jersey Soccer Association All-Star for 3 years running. State finalist in swimming, just selected to a conference All-Star team in track for 2 years. Went on to Elizabethtown College, had a great career. They also honored the 1980 varsity golf team. A team, of course, after your own heart. Mike, you guys that like to get out there and just chase that little white ball around.
I didn't get to do it as much as I like this year, unfortunately. With the injury on the field, we will take a quick time out here, come back with more action after this at West Deptford High School. Once again, your score, the Eagles of West Deptford 14, Silver Knights of Sterling 7. Back with more after this. Back here at West Deptford High School, second and goal for West Deptford. And perhaps the ball popped loose. I heard fumble shouted out from up top from one of the coordinators. But it looks like it will remain West Deptford football. I couldn't see the ball pop out, but I did see Murnane go down, Mike.
Let me tell you, credit Ross Khalid, the offensive tackle, that time number 54, with really saving West Deptford down here. He was able to find the football and cover it and give them another opportunity here in third and goal from the 7-yard line.
There you see our score, 14-7. We've got 7 minutes, 40 seconds left to play. West Deptford trying to possibly seal this one up and seal up their first ever Colonial Conference Championship with a touchdown here. This is Sean Knight. Sean Knight turns the corner, is in the end zone for the touchdown. And it's 20-7 West Deptford here. They take the lead by 13, pending the point after, of course.
Well, that almost appeared too easy, didn't it, for Sean Knight? And one reason it appeared easy is because Knight, I don't know, did you call it was Knight or was it Overton?
I thought it was 28.
Well, Overton
maybe
might have
Overton
come up with the block. We'll have to take a look at it. In any event, made a good move, and a second good move, which is what made it look so easy. We'll have a chance to say it again and check our numbers.
Now the point after by Jason Williams. It is up. It is a line drive. It is good. 21-7. West Deptford here with 7:28 left to go. We'll get another look at the touchdown now. The handoff was Knight, 28.
Now watch the move. One inside, then come to the outside, and then just right into the end zone, making it look easy. Not nearly as easy as it looked. That is the talent of a outstanding runner, is able to find the different holes, drop the shoulder one way, freeze the defender, and then cut back the other way.
Good patience, too. Took his time, waited for that block to get sealed up, and then took advantage of it.
A lot of times the runners want to get to a hole as quickly as they can, and sometimes, of course, depending on the situation, that's what you're telling them as a coach. Get there in a hurry. Young guy you know over there. Yeah.
Girls soccer coach here at West Deptford High School.
Outstanding soccer team, as we already mentioned already. Also well known in the community as a township committee man. So he does it all in West Deptford.
Man on the chain gang, too, there. Doing it all.
Maybe more importantly, announces all the wrestling matches here at West Deptford, where there's always a huge crowd. Maybe more importantly, sells insurance to our director. Maybe that's why we're getting so much camera time. Ed Hatton there in the green, of course, his partner. Back to ball game, huh?
A squib kick, and it's taken by Nick Washington. Washington trying to find some room down the middle of the field. Cannot. He is tackled, brought down at about the 35-yard line, somewhere out in the distance there. It'll be 1st and 10 for Sterling's offense at the 35.
Yeah, if Sterling has any opportunity here in this ball game, they've got to get it now, get it quick.
They certainly, put up a good fight, Mike, in the early going, and really, gave West Deptford a test here. This West Deptford team has averaged like 42 points per game in their last 3 games, I think. So they've been putting up some big numbers, and Sterling has, come out and played tough. 1st and 10. Gray has just swarmed upon it, and it just, Mike, it seems like this West Deptford team just smells blood right now. I mean, they're just going after it.
Maybe it's relief, huh? They got that lead and got that opportunity to get down there and get that lead. Once they did, it was like a big weight coming off their shoulders, their collective shoulder, where they said, all right, what we came out here for tonight, we now actually believe we're going to be able to do it. Earlier, we said we were going to do it, and all week long we talked about doing it. But, seen teams talk that way during the week in hallways of high schools for years, and it's till you come out here and perform. That's the only thing that counts.
2nd and 10 for Sterling.
Berekian's going to have to put the ball up soon, isn't he?
Back to pass this time. He is looking and throws along the near sideline. Oh, and what a hit late on that time. Number 5 for West Deptford, Dave Murnane, beats number 5 from Sterling, Jamal Watkins. Short gain, and it's going to be 3rd and about 7 for the Silver Knights.
And clock continues to run. We're under 6:20 now, 6:15 at this point in the ball game. Berekian going to throw the ball again here on 3rd down. If he doesn't get the 1st down, clock will keep running. Unless there's an incompletion, it'll stop. But then following a punt, West Deptford, the way they grind the football, could almost run the clock down. Had to be a long drive to do it.
Take the handoff now, Berekian back to pass, under some pressure. Oh, he throws a screen to the far side of the field. Can't get it off, though. Pressure was brought on by Dante Bowman. Of course, we saw him block a punt earlier on, and he's pretty much spent a lot of time in the other team's backfield today, no question.
And on that one, of course, he gets a free ride. They're trying to set the screen up to that side. They're going to give him a free ride, a free pop. Berekian did his best to get it off. By the way, I like the poise of Berekian. He showed me quite a bit tonight. This is a real athlete. Quarterback or where's his position, but if I'm Division III school looking for a real athlete and somebody can contribute to my program, he's the kind of guy I would be out talking to.
High snap. Punt comes down inside the 40. It's going to trickle down inside the 30, now to the 29-yard line. That's where West Deptford's offense will retake the field here with 5:38 left to go. Of course, protecting that 21-7 lead. They're going to just try and grind it out now, run out the clock. They've got that depth at running back, Mike. That's one thing. I mean, coming in, Sterling knew that's the bread and butter that West Deptford has. They wanted to force him to throw the ball, but West Deptford just persistent enough tonight, Mike, to pull it off.
Yeah, a lot of people in Paulsboro interested in this ball game. Of course, they were rooting for a Sterling victory and looking for a win tomorrow in their ball game, and an opportunity on Thanksgiving to come in and spoil it for West Deptford one more time.
Timeout on the field. Sterling calls timeout. It seemed like personnel-wise, they were a little confused. A couple players came running on late there.
Does that hurt you or what? Time is already out. The clock isn't running, and you've got to waste one of the timeouts here because of a personnel problem.
We'll take a quick break as well. Once again, your score, West Deptford 21, Sterling 7. Back with more after this on Comcast Channel 43. Back here at West Deptford High School, Mike Linder, and they just turned the sign around to the other side of the field, but it says West Deptford High School 1999 Colonial Conference champs. Still 5 minutes and 38 seconds left to go. You don't want to put the jinx on your own team, but things look pretty solid.
Wrap that sign up. You waited a long time. You can wait another 5:38.
Handoff goes to Holmes, and Holmes goes across the 30 to the 32. A pickup of about 3 that time. We'll bring up 2nd and 7. And signs back facing this way now. Cheerleaders holding that one up. 1999 Colonial Conference champions, West Deptford Eagles.
Well, you know, if
nice
things were not to work out here for a football game, the cheerleaders could say they've been carrying that sign around for the field hockey and girls soccer team.
That's true. It doesn't say what
doesn't say football, does it?
Good point. 2nd and 8. Boy, this is...
Get the sign back out.
Overton.
Get the sign back out. You can wave it now.
And I apologize. That was Sean Knight on the carry, running down the near sideline. And, of course, the touchdown. And as Mike said, get the sign out. Stick it up high. Wave it up high. 4:52 left to go. It's a 69-yard touchdown for Sean Knight. And you can definitely put the sign up. 1999 Colonial Conference champions, West Deptford. And a long time coming, a conference championship is at hand for West Deptford.
Well, this is not one of those situations where you have to say, who was around the last time they won? Because nobody was. They never have. Big moment.
Point after attempt is blocked. It's going to fall into the end zone, but that certainly is not going to dampen the spirits here. A blocked extra point means nothing at this stage. 27-7, West Deptford in command. 4:52 left to go, and certainly a lot of excitement here. A historic occasion. This team looking to win its first ever conference championship. West Deptford has pretty much now sealed up their first ever state tournament bid. I mean, this is a big, big year here at West Deptford High School.
Yeah, and every sport here in the fall, they've been just having an outstanding time, and capped off here tonight with this victory that is going to make some young men very, very happy.
West Deptford looks to move on to the playoffs. That game will be next week. They're probably going to be the 2nd or 3rd seed, I would assume, in the NJSIA South Group 3, which would mean they would take on the 7th seed or the 6th seed. You know, just looking down the list, a lot of quality teams out there, boy.
Now we'll have a chance after the kickoff to run down those teams.
Kickoff by Jason Williams is picked up one-hand style by Neek Washington, pardon me. Neek Washington can't bust free. Oh, finally done. Still on his feet, spinning and twisting across the 30. Whoa, Washington is across the 45 to the 50. Wow.
Once again, the safety, the kicker, Jason Williams in this case, on the kickoff has to come up with the grab. To stop a touchdown from happening there. That would have made every highlight film, wouldn't it?
Wow, that was a heck of an effort from number 2, Neek Washington. Certainly not giving up here. team down by 20, but wow, that was a little bit of excitement there.
Yeah, the other teams in the hunt, of course, Mainland, Morristown, Lacey Township, Egg Harbor Township, Willingboro, Camden, Toms River South.
That's your top 8, I think,
Yep.
right? And then you've got Ocean City lurking back there.
Who needs a victory tomorrow to have an opportunity.
Barikian back to pass, rolling to his right. He is sacked and brought down, and just the momentum continues for West Deptford. That time making the play was number 30 for West Deptford. That Isaac Okai, the junior, playing the defensive end. Okai 5'8", 170. So that Group 3 state tournament picture is starting to get interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, Ocean City right now, things stand looks like the 9th seed right now. Of course, they have a key game tomorrow, as Mike mentioned. Handoff goes up the middle. Pickup of about 3 or 4. It'll bring up 3rd down. 3rd and we'll call it 13. That was Washington again, number 2. And Mike, you talked about just the athletic success this year right now in the fall at West Deptford High School. And there's both soccer teams doing well. Field hockey team reaching the semifinals of the South Jersey Group 3 tournament. They'll play that Monday. Barikian back to pass. It is knocked away. Pass batted down by Murnane.
Yeah, they're doing it with all kinds of verve, aren't they now? Murnane knocks it away and just struts around, giving the incomplete sign. You know, when they were tense in the first half, you wouldn't have seen any kind of movement of that nature.
It was a tight game, no doubt. 7-7 after 3 quarters. And Sterling got started off well with that return for a touchdown, a fumble return, and it looked like, hey, you know, it was an eye-opener. Things could go the way that, you know, people didn't expect. 4th down, and Sterling going for it here. 4th and 12, and Barikian back to pass, fires, and incomplete, just out of the reach of number 80, the wide receiver, Dan Pancrazio. We talked about the tight end situation for Sterling, and Pancrazio back to the starting spot again with the injury to Todd Anderson that we talked about earlier, a shoulder injury suffered yesterday in practice. So West Deptford takes over on downs here with 3:15 left to go, 1st and 10 at Sterling's 47.
This group of young men are happy to see this game get over with. What a weight off their shoulder. They've been carrying the weight of an entire group of people who've gone through this high school since the day it opened.
What, 34 years worth of football is coming to a real pinnacle right here in this game for West Deptford High School.
We point out they started in the Olympic, but there was no question at all West Deptford, with the students having attended Woodbury before they ever came here, that their heart always was in getting into the Colonial Conference. That's where the people who had the roots in the old days always wanted to see this team compete. They finally got that opportunity, and then it was a question of, all right, when are we going to be at the top of the heap in this Colonial Conference? The other people who attended here, of course, attended Paulsboro High School before the creation of West Deptford. In both cases, that Colonial Conference situation in terms of the roots with parents and grandparents and even beyond that, great-grandparents now at this point. Colonial, one of the oldest conferences in South Jersey, in all of New Jersey, in fact.
Sean Knight picks up about 5 there, 4 or 5. It's 3rd and 4 now for West Deptford. There you get a good look at Clyde Folsom on the sideline. Not smiling yet, Mike.
No, it's an internal smile. You can bet. He's been around long enough. He knows this one's put away. 77th victory for him, his 43rd victory at West Deptford. Remember, had a time at Bishop Eustace before this, and has been around coaching now. This is 14th season, so his 77th victory. I think in a sense, he's going to call it his 43rd victory, because right now, it's West Deptford, you know, and no victory will have been sweeter than the one that he gets here tonight.
4th down now, 1:30 left to go, clock running. 4th and about 4, ball at the 41. Of course, the remaining plays in this game are pretty inconsequential now, as West Deptford just waiting to, those players on the sideline just waiting to run out there and celebrate the first ever football championship conference championship in school history. 1:11 now left to go. Delay of game goes against West Deptford.
They took the delay there to get the clock to run all the way down as far as it could. They used up as many seconds as possible. They're going to punt the football now, very probably. And the clock will stop again, and it'll be Sterling's opportunity for a couple of 4 plays, maybe 3 or 4.
And now the punting unit, of course, on. Jason Williams, as we said, the freshman, doing all the kicking duties tonight for West Deptford. Back deep, it's Nick Washington. He's been exciting back there tonight. No question about that. Sterling bringing the heat, almost got the block. Washington takes it at his own 20. West Deptford, nice job of coverage. They had 5 and 6 players down there quickly covering Washington. So it will be 1st and 10 for Sterling here in the final minute 3 as they have the football at their own 27-yard line.
Yeah, next ball game for West Deptford is going to be a playoff game, as we pointed out. Remember, last year they were into that extra game that all teams got. Now they have the sign up. Here's the smile now from Folsom. So we get the sign up on the sideline, and we get back up on the sideline, and we get the smile from Folsom.
And Clyde didn't even see the sign. That's the amazing part.
Yeah.
Barikian with a pitch out to Gray. Gray running along the sideline on the far side. Picks up a 1st down, gets across the 40. Clock stops with 55 seconds left to go.
Darren Bozius just came down from upstairs where he was calling up in a lot of the plays that turned out to be successful, one of the assistant coaches. They all love it when it comes out victory.
Bozius, of course, a former player at Rowan University, then Glassboro State. Also another defensive coach for a defensive coach, I should say, for West Deptford. Pete Getz was an outstanding linebacker at Rowan. Was on their first team that reached the national semifinals. As he just happens to stroll right on by us, coming down from the
and they can stroll when they're winners.
Oh, and Clyde just avoiding the bath. And I'll tell you what, a little chilly for that tonight. Coach Folsom has the shorts on. There you see him. He's got to be happy with the way his team performed finally in the 4th quarter. You know, they were sluggish all night. Sterling came to play. But, you know, West Deptford just did what they had to do to get it done. 24 seconds left to go. We've got a timeout on the field. And Sterling's coach out there talking to his players. And I'm certainly pretty proud of these guys, the way they performed tonight. Coach Todd Green down there talking to his boys. And, you know, they put up a good performance tonight.
And interesting, next week, of course, their next ball game, in fact, because they will now not make the playoffs. There's no question about that. So unless they pick up one of those extra games that you're allowed to play.
I think they pretty much all do, yeah.
But other than that, their next competition that's already planned is in the schedule is Collingswood, where quarterback Barikian will go against father, coach Barikian at Collingswood.
Interesting how that schedule worked out that way, too, isn't it? The final game, I guess, for both. Barikian is sacked and brought down back at the 30 with 17 seconds left to go. The clock continues to run, and kind of appropriate that Dante Bowman was in on that play, Mike, because he really was integral in turning things around tonight for West Deptford. And you hear the crowd counting it down. There it is. The clock has expired, and that will do it. However, one last snap for Sterling. Ball pops loose and recovered by West Deptford's Sean Knight. And now they celebrate. Clyde Folsom, a happy coach out there jumping around, looking for somebody to hug.
He looked for his colleague on the other side first, which is a nice gesture, is it not? Moment of victory, a moment of celebration, to have an opportunity to congratulate the effort of the opponent this evening, and he goes to talk to some of the Sterling players. And he knows at this point what his team is doing, and that is celebrating hard work from, let's say, not just back from the beginning of practice this year, but all the way back to the beginning of this school.
Sure. We will step away right now. Once again, the final score, West Deptford 27, Sterling 7, and West Deptford wins the Colonial Conference Championship. We'll be back to talk to some happy West Deptford Eagles after this on Comcast Channel 43.
7.
We're still up there.
That's a close game.
Back here at West Deptford High School, the Eagles coming up with a 27-7 victory. Mike Shute along with the winning coach, Clyde Folsom, and coach 7-7 at halftime. It was a tight contest, and you know, the guys on your squad, I think, really responded, especially in that fourth quarter.
Well, we knew coming in the game that it was going to be a tight game. Coming off a 63-7 win a week ago, sometimes the players become a little bit complacent, thinking that we can continue to score points the way we did. Sterling's very, very good defensively, and we were very fortunate that our defense played as well as they have, and we stressed all year, defense wins championships, and that's exactly what happened tonight. We were patient enough and got the job done on defense. We were patient enough on offense to be able to stick some drives together and create a couple big plays.
The biggest play, probably Dante Bowman blocking that punt, kind of set you guys up.
Well, we felt all week that we had an opportunity to get one of those simply because their snapper in previous games, their deep snapper, he's either slow getting the ball back, and the punter took 2 or 3 extra steps. So it was just a matter of him coming through clean and getting himself in position without worrying about roughing the punter and making the play. Yes, that was a huge play, and ultimately actually turned the game around.
Now you guys go to 8-0, of course, winning the Colonial Conference, the first conference title in school history. How does that feel for you? I mean, this school's been here for like 35 years. I mean, it's got to be special.
It's a great feeling. I've been here 9 years, and there's been people in this community that have been watching football here at West Deptford for 30 years, and I feel great for the community because it's been a long time coming. I think it's going to pull the community together a little bit tighter than they are now, and hopefully it's the beginning of a great era of football here at West Deptford.
And of course, greater football for you guys looking ahead. You state playoffs now, and that's the first time ever in school history too that you guys have gotten that far. So certainly looking ahead, I mean, what can this team do?
Well, I think being a high seed and playing home is certainly going to give us an advantage. If we were a lower seed, having to play on the road against a 1 or 2 seed, I think it would have been very difficult. I really believe we can go deep into the playoffs and possibly get into the finals.
Clyde Folsom, the winning coach here from West Deptford High School. Congratulations, Coach, on that first ever Colonial Conference Championship. We're going to bring Mike Linder back in and wrap things up here. Once again, the final score 27-7, and Mike, the coach said it, and they just got it done in the second half.
Well, one thing, of course, with the congratulations of the coach is to let everybody at home know that while we usually on Channel 43 will feature 1 or 2 players, Coach, it was our feeling tonight that this was a team victory. It was a victory not only for this team, for every team that's ever competed at West Deptford, and as a result, we don't want to feature just 1 or 2 guys tonight.
Well, we talked about in pregame when we came out, we said this is going to be about who's scoring touchdowns, who's rushing, who's throwing touchdown passes, who's having 8 or 9 unassisted tackles. We truly believe if we're going to win this football game tonight, it would have to be done as a team, and it was. Defensively, we had no superstars. We just gang tackled and played great defense.
Now, as far as coaching goes, you've had a lot of victories before you came to West Deptford. You had success at other places, and where does this one rank up there for you? There's
no question. It's one of the tops because of where the program has come from. In other programs I've been involved in, they had tradition in winning. Here at West Deptford, they were perennial losers for many, many years. Of course, not to be disrespectful for teams that have won championships back in 72 and 73, but of recent years, they've been starting for a championship, and it's just, I feel great for the community.
We talked during the ball game in our coverage that many of the people here have been around a long time. Now grandparents of kids that are playing here, maybe even some great-grandparents. Originally they were Woodbury High School and they were Paulsboro High School students, and then now they've been together, 35 years, I guess, at West Deptford. Did you feel any community pressure at all as the season built, as the people began to believe that this was the year to annex a Colonial Conference championship, the old Woodbury and Paulsboro traditions being so big and people with ties to that group?
No, not really. Well, as we win football games, back in 94 when we had success, 95, 96, we had good seasons, the community really started to pull together, but it just didn't seem like we were going to the next level. We were 6-3, 6-3, 7-2, but we just felt as though with Paulsboro being a power, the belief was we wouldn't be able to beat them, and the players felt the same thing. I mean, Paulsboro having the year they're having, they're 5-2 right now, and we'll probably finish up in the conference 7-2. But our kids know that the pressure of beating them is no longer existent in terms of for a Colonial Conference championship. But I really think this is going to do it's going to do wonders for the community and pull things together. And you know, we have success in our other sport programs, and it was just a matter of getting football on the same level as them, and being proud of everything we do here at the school.
Okay, my final word, Mike and Clyde, tonight would be that I've been around here since 1979 now, Channel 5 and now Channel 43, and you know, we're supposed to be non-biased over the years and not root for anybody, but I've got to say with all honesty, the real chills for us tonight also to have an opportunity with all the years that West Deptford has been fighting and looking for this big win. We had to feel very, very good for you tonight. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and we're very proud of it, and everyone's been involved. The support we've gotten from the TV station, and it's what it's all about. This is awesome.
Well, why don't you go join your players now and really celebrate.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. Clyde Folsom, head coach of West Deptford, and definitely deservingly so a happy guy. I mean, a great victory tonight, and it wasn't easy, Mike. Sterling came to play, and West Deptford just kind of pulled it out there in the fourth quarter.
Well, I don't think they'll be focusing on any individual plays or anything of that nature from this point on. They'll forget about what went on in the field. They'll just remember it was a win and it was a championship.
The first ever in the history of West Deptford High School. Thanks for joining us here once again. The final score, West Deptford 27, Sterling 7. Thanks for watching high school football here on Channel 43. See you next time.